Taehyung slowly raised his head and glanced at him. His wet hair was stuck on his forehead. His white shirt was transparent and stuck to his body, giving him the view of his broad chest and his strongly built abs. A shiver would run down when Jungkook covered the distance between them in a long step before taking their lips between him, that delicious every single corner of his mouth. Leaving Taehyung's mouth, he turned to him, making him back to face him. His eyes were staring at the back. The milky skin of his looked delicious. That tiny waist and that round of his eyes were darkened. When they willing a little, he placed a soft kiss on their shoulder, earning a sweet moan for thee. He started leaving a trail of kisses on his shoulder. Jungkook, they mourned his name, and he bit his shoulder a little. Yes, bless me with your moonlight, he whispered, slowly with his neck far behind. The water stopped. The timid look at Jungkook, who was already looking at him. He smiled when they hugged him again. I'm cold, they said. His body was shivering a little. Change here, Jungkook said before hugging and make the way toward that room. They were stunned, seeing his behavior was cold. Why did he leave me? Is he not going to make love with me? Their minds were racing with that confusion and insecurities as they watched Jungkook retreat to his room. The sudden change in his and left they feeling that uncontained. They couldn't shake his feeling and something was amiss. With a mix of disappointment and worry, they followed him into the room. They found Jungkook was standing by the wardrobe, grabbing a towel and a fresh set of clothes that seems to be distant, lost his own feeling. They bite his lips whenever to comfort that, giving him more space, gathering his courage. They stepped closer to him, his voice barely above a whisper. Cook, is something wrong? They asked, and his eyes were searching his face for any hint of what he was going through his mind. He turned to face Day, but his expression was softened and slightly. No, Day, nothing is wrong, he replied, trying to reassure him, but his words were lack with that, and they could sense that hesitation in his eyes. They took a step closer, and his hand would reach out of his touch, and his arms were gently. Please go. You can't talk to me. I'm here for you, they said. His voice was filled with that concern and affection. Jungkook sounded in defense, crumbling that under his gaze. It just, are you really ready, Day? Jungkook continued. His gaze was looked at his hand. I want to make sure you're ready. I don't want us to be rushed into the things, and just because we're catching in the heat of the moment. I felt the floor were over Day, and I realized his hesitation had done nothing but with his feeling for him. It was simply try to give Day the time. I should take the lead, they said. Taehyung slowly pulled Jungkook's collar from his shirt and smashed his lips against Jungkook, who was shocked for a moment. The cloth that he was looking hold fell on the floor. Breaking the kiss, Taehyung smiled at him. I'm ready, Cook. I'm ready to take this relationship to the next level. Please, make to me. Please love me. Please make me yours. Jungkook's eyes were filled with a mixture of surprise and desire that he stared at Taehyung. His words were filled with the joy and reassurance. Is there any doubt he had about that connection? He gently cupped their face with his hand, and his thumb were brushing against the cheek. I love you more than the word you can express, he murmured, but his voice was filled with that sincerity. And I want nothing more than you. To love you. The heart was swelled with the feeling, and that happiness. His words were suddenly changed that and melted away. They leaned to his touch. His eyes were shining with love. I love you too, Cook, and I trust you completely, they said softly, and his voice was filled with the love, and only love. They took him to the bed and gently laid him. The mattress was getting drenched because of the wet cloth. His eyes were darker, and they ate his back, and he kissed him. I love you, Jungkook, they said, and his eyes were teary. Jungkook kissed his eyes, and his thumb were wiping the tears. I love you more. Thank you. Thank you for everything, he whispered softly, smiling a little. I want this wedding to be simple but beautiful. The color petals should be soft color, and that light must be mineral as well. Make sure you invite only close friends, members, and friends. Jungkook said to Yoongi, who was going toward the cabin. He wanted their wedding to be simple yet elegant. He had the promise they to marry him again, but this time out of love. A few days ago he made love to him, and he couldn't help but turn on every time he near him. Yoongi noticed down that anything else, he asked, raising his eyebrow as his friend Jungkook shook his head. Actually, yes, there is something, he said suddenly, and making Yoongi grab his notepad again. What? Yoongi asked, being serious. Jungkook come a little closer to him. He looked here and there before opening his mouth. I want you to get a few packets of. Shut up. I'm not doing that. Before he could complete, Jungkook shut him up. You're disgusting. You're my friend. So what? I have to buy? No way. Come on, you can't even do that and call yourself my best friend. Huh? Jungkook tried to use his best friend card, and it looked like it worked, as Yoongi signed before nodding his head. Fine, I'll get them for you, and I'll make sure you'll like it, my dear friend. He gave Jungkook a tight smile. Don't you dare to do something stupid, Jungkook said, knowing his friend very well. Yoongi gasped dramatically. You think I'll do something with this, cause you in trouble? No, Cook, you're my dearest friend. I won't do that. They were clawing at each other when someone interrupted them. Excuse me. Jungkook turned toward the boys. A beautiful lady was standing in front of him with a polite smile. I'm here for an interview. The head of the modeling department asking me to find Mr. John. Can you help me to find him? Yoongi turned toward her, a cold expression on his face. A minute ago, he was being playful, but now he was being professional. It's me, he said before giving a net to Jungkook and leave with her. From there, he doorbell and they mentioned what they went to the door. A traveling man was standing with a huge parcel in his hand. Good morning. There's a parcel for Mr. John, Taehyung informed with a curious smile. Okay, we do a sign. The man took the sign before leaving. Cook, there is a parcel for you, they said, getting inside with the parcel in his hand. Taekook came into the living room. Let me see, he said before taking it from him. He tore open and removed that unnecessary packing. It was a bouquet, he found, and before taking it out, what type of bouquet is this? Full of plastic, they stopped in the mid-sentence. When he saw it clearly, a bouquet of their eyes were winded in shock and disbelief. He couldn't believe what he was saying. Jungkook's face was turned with embarrassment. What the hell is this? They demanded. His voice was filled with that disbelief. Jungkook's mind was racing, trying to come up with an explanation. He knew that he had to think quickly before the situation was shameless, they said before heading toward their room, leaving him alone with his bouquet. They wait. He looked at the bouquet again, but he found that the note stuck on it. He took the note before reading it. Hope you like the gift, my dear friend, and please don't call me after reading this. I'm on vacation. Have fun. Your best friend. Wait until I get my revenge on you. Crumble the note, he said, and look at the bouquet. It's useful though.